Mr. Bartender, please. I need a shot and I'm begging on my knees. The way to fight is one battle at a time. You may have won today, but I'll see you at the finish line. All is fair in love and war. You pull no brakes when you're riding to the core. All is fair in love and war. You best be aware, 'cause all is fair in love and war. If you can't stand the heat, don't come in the kitchen. Bring you pain is my new addiction. Been the other way around for far too long. Now you're gonna find out what it's like to be wronged. Well, all is fair in love and war. You pull no brakes when you're riding to the core. All is fair in love and war. You best be aware, 'cause all is fair in love and war. All is fair in love and war. Where you put no words when you're riding to the core. Yeah, yeah. All is fair in love and war. You best be aware, 'cause all is fair. All is fair in love and war. You pull no brakes when you're riding to the core. Yeah. All is fair in love and war. You best be aware, 'cause all is fair in love and war.
Welcome to The Rock for round 2 of the Die Hard Grand National Series. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett here for the second time this season, and joining me in the booth as always are my broadcast partners, Mr. Frank Marchese and Tony Trapasso. Gonna be a fun race here tonight, guys. Hopefully my internet lag lasts out for the entire broadcast, right?
Every cross. Yeah, we had a little bit of a problem on Tuesday night, didn't we?
Just a little bit. I mean, 1 minute I'm doing fine, and then next minute I'm trying not to put my fist through a wall. But anyway, that's just me. But anyway, we are here for racing with Classic Cup Cars action here for you tonight, and we are going to go straight down to the track for this one, as it's going to be a big race, a big field for this one, much bigger than last week, guys. It's looking pretty promising out there.
Absolutely. 22 drivers showing up for this one, Frank. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of cars. It's a very difficult technical track, especially in these cars. It's just so hard to drive. As I believe you guys are seeing a wreck right now. It just goes to show a lot of cars, small space, technical track is going to make for a great show.
Yep, as we're... Sorry, Tony, what were you going to say?
This track is definitely one that you've got to be up on the wheel the entire time, especially going through 1 and 2, because it's got a kind of a rolling hill feel to it, because there's some dips and dives in the middle of the corner, and you'll see as the cars go through, it's not going to be uncommon to see sparks come flying out from underneath these cars.
Yeah, and we're seeing sparks coming out from the back of Alan Pajari's car. He's coming through 3 and 4, I believe, and the sparks really coming off the back of that car. Is that really how low they run around here?
Well, what they're dragging is they're dragging the mounting bracket to the track bar.
Okay.
And that's how you get these cars to turn around here. Is you've got to run. If you don't run a soft spring in the right rear, you're going around because of the banking here. But you have to run a heavy enough spring on the left side to not let the back end of the car completely bottom out. But if you're on a run and you hit that corner just right, you are going to drag the mounting bracket to the track bar.
That you also want to leave the setup vulnerable enough, because in real life this track is known as an absolute cheese grater of a track. This place kills tires. There's a lot of load going through these cars, going very quickly, and cars that are less modern, not as much downforce on these cars, makes it even worse.
So the biggest thing is, and this is the way it's always been here at the Rock, is you want to set the car up on the tight side of neutral and drive it loose.
Yeah, so we've just seen Kevin Turcott just hit the wall, going round. Somehow managed to save it in the 84. Good save here, but anyway.
If you know how they live in Tokyo. Sorry.
Yeah, that's one way to get us demonetized. But anyway, moving on. Let's move on to the sponsor of this broadcast. Well, not the broadcast, but the league. Summit Sim Racing. Make sure you check those guys out. Big supporters of the league, and we'll be here all season, so we'll be showing them a lot of love here on the channel. So make sure you check them out. We'll have their logo in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I might make it a little bit bigger so people can see it a bit better. But yeah, Summit Sim Racing. Check them out. As I get rid of the wrong logo. There we go. Still action out on track. We've got about 3 seconds before qualifying, guys. Nathen Rhew, fastest by a long shot at the moment. Well, he's going to be the fastest in practice by a long shot, but momentum coming into this one after a big win last week at Daytona. It looks like he's not going to slow down at any point this time around either.
Absolutely not. If I had to venture a guess, I'm going to say that was a pure qualifying run that he set that on. I'm not sure how many other drivers actually put in a full-blown qualifying attempt. I dare say a lot of these guys were working on fuel runs to see what the tire wear was going to be around this place.
Yeah, no, it looked like a low fuel run. His fastest lap prior to that was a 24.0. Then the 75 of Jeremy Johnston hit a 23.8, and then right after that, right back to the top at a 23.3. So that's a good indication of where the pole time is going to be right now as we see cars heading on track for qualifying right now.
Brad Spittle looks like he might be the first one to put a time in here as he comes out of turn 2. Almost strikes the wall in the 90 red Baron machine as he makes his way. And you see those sparks coming off the back of the car. Very interesting to see as he comes out of turn 4. Let's see where he where the benchmark is for this man as he crosses the line, and he sets a 25.426. That is the one to beat as Wayne Grass beats it immediately.
Yeah, this place, it's that wall, especially in the middle of 1 and 2, is really going to try to suck you in, and then once it sucks you in, it spits you right back out. As the 34, I believe, or the 33 rather, spun coming off of turn 2 a moment ago.
Yeah, Cody Franklin did loop it coming off of 2. Fortunately, didn't hit anything.
Nathen Rhew leaves some on the table for the others. My God, 2/10 of a second clear of Seth Schultz at the top there.
Yeah, but how about that run from Schultz? I mean, that's in any other league that would have been pole time.
Yeah, and I think Schultz only hit about a 22.2 during the practice session, so that's a big jump for Seth Schultz now, showing what he can do in qualifying.
I am having a few problems with certain paint schemes, so please, people that are watching and saying that their paint scheme isn't showing up, it's a trading paint issue. It's not an issue that I'm having to deal with, so just please bear with it for the moment. It will probably show up immediately. Apparently Jarrett Brown, according to league management, is having problems with his paint scheme not showing up here tonight.
Kevin Turkett goes to the 3rd place with a 23.9. Tim Marlowe sets a 24.302. He's getting up there. Chuck Sweeting now in the 54 with a 24.4. So we're seeing a lot of times here very close. The top 3 are the only ones in the 23s, but everyone behind that is right within that half a second to 3 or 4 tenths range.
Yeah, Tim Marlowe jumping up to P6 now in that number 28 machine. Driving the Haviland machine, very good. Let's go to one of the drivers that's not set a time yet. Jeremy Johnston in the 75. He was at the top for a short while, abandoning his run before he hits the first lap, and not happy with that car early on.
No, he wasn't. The 22 of Gwen Havens just looped it, just half looped it in the middle of 1 and 2. Mark Eigerbrod, Havens, Wilkie, Johnston, and Brown, the only ones to have not set a time yet. As I say,
Brown goes 36.4 on his first lap.
I was going to say, as I say that, somebody else made a liar of me. As Havens sets the 29.3
and immediately hits the wall.
Ooh, and Seth Schultz goes right up. Oh, sorry, my bad. I was looking at it. No, there's still some of them are still running a little bit extra practice laps around here. That's.
Yeah, but there's a time that might be coming in. There's a time that might be coming in very soon, and that is Jeremy Johnson finally took the green flag for his qualifying run. Let's see what his first time will be. A 24.042. That's good enough for P4. Where's the second lap going to put him? This is going to be your last time in this qualifying session. Big slide for life coming out of turn 2 there. Going to try and get the best speed he can going through 3 and 4. Sparks flying off the back again. Now Valvoline, number 75, going to fly out of turn 4 down towards the line. Where's this one going to put him? As he crosses the line. And
23.9 P4.
Wow.
The thing I remember when we used to run here with the USAR Pro Cup cars is we would set the cars up tight, and then the driver had to just dip a tire onto the apron to really get the car to rotate.
Yeah.
Because we were running bias plies in that series, and I'm not sure how many guys are going to have the cojones to try that tonight.
Well, speaking of...
Is it fast? Yes. Does it destroy cars? Absolutely.
Speaking of drivers that are going to try everything they can to do well tonight, is going to be Mr. Nathen Rhew. Nathan, joining me in the booth there. Pole again tonight here at Rockingham. Momentum on your side. What you got to do here to try and keep that on your, keep it up there here tonight?
Yeah, we found some speed in the car, and we were real pleased with that. And but speed really isn't the answer here. This will be a race of attrition. Just keeping the car under you, being consistent. That's the guy that's probably going to prevail today. So we're just going to try to keep it under us, stay at a good pace, and not burn the tires up, because that's going to be a big thing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, 22 cars set to take the green here tonight. It's going to be a big pack race here around it, the Rock. It's going to be a different feel to Daytona. How do you think you're going to be able to manage that, especially if you fall back in the pack?
Yeah, that's the thing here. You get back there and the tires get wore out. It's going to be a lot harder to make moves and make passes. This is a hard track to drive, and but we're just going to try to keep our track position best we can, and the biggest thing, save those tires. That's what we're trying to remind us tonight.
All right, well, Nathen Rhew, pole position here again at Rockingham. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you later in the race.
Thanks, guys.
He mentioned tires there in a very rough delegation here for this race. Only 4 sets of tires, so that means you have to be very sparing on when you decide to come in to take those tires.
Yeah, and the fourth set of tires is the tires they are starting on. They only have 3 more sets to use during the race. I wish that they make you start the race on the tires you qualified on, but obviously with it being stock car racing, you have a specific qualifying tire, so that's not going to work. So,
but still, even with that, though, that's a really, really I don't want to say harsh, but that's a difficult delegation to put only 3 tires you can change on these cars.
Yeah, so
as the pace truck worked its way through the 3-4 complex, Rhew going to have the button. Seth Schultz going to be starting right next to him. 150 laps of scheduled distance here tonight. This is going to get fun, and don't pay any attention to timing and scoring. You got Todd Thomas running the 78 as the 33. Pace truck is in. And Grandpa's trying to pop a Viagra because it's time to get it on at the Rock.
Green flag in the air. Everybody getting stacked up at the back there, but Nathen Rhew and Seth Schultz getting away cleanly. But it's from third on back, Frank, that everybody just got all stacked up right there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the fact that they got stacked up or the fact that those 2 out in front. It is very difficult to get a good restart if you're not the control car here, and Seth Schultz was right on it.
And Kevin Turcotte was a little bit asleep at the switch and did stack everybody up behind him. That's going to let Jeremy Johnson in. I'm showing him as the 33 on track, but timing and scoring has him as the 78.
Yeah, the other 33 is Cody Franklin. I'm not sure. They're running almost identical paint schemes, Todd Thomas and Cody Franklin. There is Todd Thomas there in one skull scheme, and then you go back to Cody Franklin, who's running another skull scheme, just ever so slightly different, as we've got Jarrett Brown on the apron going through the tri-oval.
Yeah, just a little bit of, just to show you the difference, kind of like a Formula One car. You have to look for the small little differences. Todd Thomas has the green number on the top, and then Cody Franklin, who is the 33, has the white 33 on the top.
So make sure you check out that one as we go back to the front of the field here. Seth Schultz has now got the lead over Nathen Rhew. Now this is a battle we've been anticipating. These two unable to race alongside each other last week because Schultz had a bit of a connection problem. I know how you feel, except my tree didn't fall on my transformer, so you know. Sorry, sir. But Seth Schultz leading the way after lap 4. We're on lap 5 already. Rhew staying with him. Turcotte not really doing anything to close the gap right now. That slow start on lap 1, really not able to recover from it so far here, Tony.
Yeah, not really. And it's one of those things that Turcotte's a smart enough driver. He's just riding right now just to try to see what this first tire stint's going to look like when he takes the tires off. Now, the one thing you do have to watch out for is, as you're watching these cars go through or enter into turn 1, you can see them bounce heavily. That's going to really eat up that right front tire as this night wears on. Not something you're looking forward to. As Rhew kind of backing up off of Schultz, he might be seeing something that Schultz isn't noticing yet. And I'm thinking that Rhew is just in tire conservation mode right now.
Now we're just on board with Kevin Turcott now, and we're on the gyro cam here, and you can see how much that car is bouncing through the corners. And you're right there, that is going to absolutely destroy that right front there, Tony. The question is, how long is he going to be able to cope with that type of performance there in that number 84?
Well, unfortunately, there's not a lot he's going to be able to do, because as far as in-car adjustments, the only thing you can jack on are the two weight jackers in the rear and the track bar. And the one thing you definitely don't want to do is go the wrong way on your adjustments to loosen the car up, because that'll eat the right rear off the car. It's a trade-off. Do you want to burn the right front off the car, or do you want to burn the right rear off the car? Because there is no happy medium here at Rockingham.
Off to a driver that featured prominently last week at Daytona. Gil Gork currently sitting back in P7 right now, just behind Jeremy Johnston, just ahead of Paul Zota. Now Gork not really showing the speed that he showed last week at Daytona, Frank, but still right up there in the top 10.
He's not, but I wanted to go back to the front, if I may, really quick.
Yeah.
Nathen Rhew has fallen off by a half a second a lap over these last couple laps, so he is really either in conservation mode, or he might have something wrong. Again, he's about 3.5 tenths off. Schultz is running 25.4s, so he is not pushing the car either. He's already a second off of his best lap of the race, but Nathen Rhew is really backed it off.
Yeah, that last lap for Rhew was a 25.78.
If you look at the behavior of...
and the yellow's out.
Oh, that is a yellow, and we have Victor Jennings. Victor Jennings in trouble. Take a look and see what happened to the number 11 here as they comes out on the Bud machine, going to smack the wall coming out of turn 2. And it's like you said during the start of the broadcast there, Frank, it's just a case of running too far wide, going through 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. You run that wall will suck you in, and then once it has you, it's going to spit you right back out. It's like hitting a trampoline. It makes it very dangerous, especially since 1 and 2 is a really big high calamity area here, and a lot of cars racing close together. It makes for some pretty interesting eventualities.
Yeah, so
and the 75 with Jeremy Johnson, the first one to take it down pit road.
Yeah,
that's bold. That's bold this early.
Let's take a look and see if he takes tires.
Anger on your tires, so...
Yeah, but you only have 3 tires to change.
Yeah, that's going to be the defining factor. Let's take a look at Jeremy Johnson now. Does he take tires? We're going to find out right now as he enters his pit stall. And... no.
I think he might.
Yes, he's taking rights.
He's taking at least rights.
Yeah. And I'm seeing Mark Hagerbroad making his way in as well as Tim Marlowe.
Johnson's taking 4.
Oh, wow.
That's now you have to go 137 laps on this set plus 2. He's asking a lot of that car.
Mark Hagerbroad doing the same trick he did last week, doing straight pass through pit road. I'm not sure what his strategy is with that, but remember he tried that last week and didn't really pay off for him. He's doing it again this week. We need to get a word with him and find out exactly what his strategy is with that one.
It could be an instance to where he's just trying to get to the back of the field so he could stay out of trouble. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, especially around here. Not necessarily wanting to be in the middle of the pack is understandable, but that's it's certainly one way to do it.
Yeah, as we're taking a look at the front of the field, lights are still on the pace truck, obviously. Cautions are going to take a bit longer, obviously. They are only shorter if they're on a track that is 2.5 miles or 2 miles or longer. Big shout out again to the sponsor of the league, that is Summit Sim Racing. Make sure you check them out once again. We've been, the league's been blessed to be sponsored by those guys, so make sure you give them a, check them out anyway, as we are almost ready to get things going again. Want to mention Bobby Everhart. He was in the same position last week again. We're seeing a lot of similarities to last week with this week. Bobby Everhart going a lap down and being the first driver a lap down will be on that inside at the front.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to really be, but in the old days, when they used to do this in the real world, it was meant to give the drivers that were a lap down at least an outside chance of getting their lap back.
Yeah.
So
They made their way through out of turn 2. Lights are still on the pace truck. So they're all forming up though, so I'm guessing there might be 2 to go. Seth Schultz, going to be interested to see how he handles the restart here. Nathen Rhew. Now, before the caution came out there, Tony, I don't know if you saw the behaviour of Rhew's car, but that car seemed to be bouncing around a lot more than Kevin Turcotte's did.
Rhew's car was bouncing a ton more. A different spring package, a different shock package. There's so much that can be done. So, you know, we're going to see what's going on because
lights are off on the truck.
I don't know. I don't know why he's bouncing more, other than it's a different shock package in that car, and you know the rebound or the compression in the shocks is completely different. So he's getting into the spring a little bit more. Fast, yes. On the short term, absolutely. On the long term, not so much.
So thinking possibly he could have been setting up more for a qualifying trim.
Possibly.
That are expecting a lot of incidences really quick on top of each other.
Well, that's probably it. He probably put a short run set in the car, and you know, once we got 10 laps in, he was struggling. As pace truck's in, we are back underway, and Nathen Rhew was asleep at the switch.
Yeah, Schultz was gone as soon as the pace truck left the track, and that has helped him big time. Already 1.5 seconds up the road, and Rhew struggling to get around Jarrett Brown there coming out of turn 2. Brown back there with Bobby Everhart, really causing the leaders a bit of trouble there on the restart.
Yeah, and I've said it from day one with these cars. First gear is too low to restart in. Second gear is too high. That's why it's so important to be the control car. You can really get that big, massive jump that Seth Schultz just got on the rest of the field.
As the lap cars of Brown and Everhart just trying to get out of the way right now, as the leaders on the lead lap cars trying to work their way by these guys. Seth Schultz out to over a second to the good right now.
Yeah, and that's come down very quickly. Nathen Rhew finding some speed since the restart and got the gap down to about 0.6 of a second now. So the gap definitely coming down now. They are up to speed. So the problem is he's got the speed under a short run, but the long run, we saw him starting to fade away there. And that car was bouncing around. Is he trying to hope for a quick caution here? I don't know what the strategy is for Nathen Rhew. We're all completely stumped about this one. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles it for the remainder of the race.
I was just going to say it was very interesting to see how in about 5 or 6 laps he had lost the lead to Seth Schultz. Fine, he might have let that go, but then he fell right back to Turcotte, who was a good second or second and a half behind him, and just completely fell off the map. I'd be interested to see how long it takes before that same exact thing starts to happen again. Both of them ran 25.1s this past lap, both Schultz and Rhew.
Going to take a look at Jeremy Johnson here, making his way through the field after taking 4 tyres. He's already dispatched Alan Bajari. Now going to be looking to the back of Corey Brown, a bit further up the road though, but Jeremy Johnson finding some speed on those tyres, but he's going to have to look after them for a good portion of this race now, Tony.
Absolutely. You know, ideally in a 150 lap race, you want to have the first set of tires last you about 45-50 laps. Then you put your second set on, have those last another 45-50 laps. Then you put your last set on, and hopefully you can get it to the finish there. You know, with these guys having 4 total sets of tires, Johnson's got a little bit to play with, but right now he is on the back foot. He's going to have to get through these guys as quickly as he can.
Well, he's already dispatched Corey Brown here. He's on the back of Brad Spittle as they come out of turn 2. That's Bruce Pearson in front of them there in the 20 in the Crown machine, the Crown Ford Thunderbird. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles the race here. I'm not sure we've seen that paint scheme yet so far this season, Frank.
No, I'm not sure if we have. Actually, just trying to take a look at it. It's quite nice, actually.
That's actually based on one of the old Craftsman Truck Series trucks, if I'm not mistaken.
Might actually be, if I
Let me
believe
do
you're
some
right.
research. I'll be right back.
Okay, as we go back to third place here, Kevin Turcotte now putting Nathen Rhew under pressure again. That pace there dropping away from Rhew again, and finds himself under pressure from the 84 here, Frank. And you see, look at the behaviour of the car. It is bouncing around really violently. Same for Kevin Turcotte, but Turcotte, it doesn't seem to be as bad on that 84 as it is on the 25.
Yeah, no, Rhew right now is they get pretty close. That's about as close as you want to get going into turn 1 there. But Rhew does not have, it doesn't look like he has that short run, that long run speed that he's going to need tonight as Turcotte slides it big time. So it's going to allow Rhew to get right back on Rhew.
Yeah, let's not forget Todd Thomas is right there as well, sitting in P4. He's just watching this with, I don't know if he's watching it with excitement or anxiety, because he doesn't want to be caught up in this mess if there is one.
Yeah, no, if I were Thomas, as Turcotte, I believe, might have gotten into the wall there coming out of 2. But if I were Thomas, watching those 2 battle in front of me, I would take that time to save as much tires as I possibly can, because if something happens, they both get up, I want to be there to make that run and try to get them both.
And I do stand corrected, gentlemen. That was actually Rob Moroso's old paint scheme.
Oh wow, okay.
Originally on an Oldsmobile. So, nice looking scheme on that car.
There you go.
That was while you were away, Tony. We were looking at Nathen Rhew there. That pace dropping off dramatically again. They're already 3.6 seconds back, and we were just commenting on the behaviour of that number 25. Just not really got it hooked up now.
And you can attribute that to him fighting with Kevin Turcotte with how far back they are. But just last lap, Seth Schultz ran a 25.6 to Rhew's 25.9. This lap is a 25.8 from Schultz to a 26.2 from Nathen Rhew. So there is definitely something wrong with the attitude of that car. A 4-second gap now from first to second.
Well, Sam, if you want to go to the high-speed drone, the far chase drone that we've got on following Rhew's car around, you can really see that thing bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, as we're on a far chase now, you see Kevin Turcotte trying to get to the back of him. And look, oh wow, that is pushing him up the track. That is not how a car should behave.
Yeah, no, Turcotte's getting awful runs out of the corner, and it's because right when he is trying to accelerate off, Rhew is still trying to get that car to turn, so the frustration definitely building up with Turcotte. I would not be surprised if he moved Rhew a little bit more forcefully, as his last run out of 2 forces Thomas to the inside, and they both push up.
Yeah, we're coming up on getting cars lapped here. Looks like Gwyn Havens might be the next one to be lapped, as they are coming up on slower traffic here. I'm not sure who they're coming up on, but they're coming up on somebody. See another car in front of him. It's not Schultz, it's a red car. I think that's Everhart in front of them. No, it's not. It's
the 11.
Oh, Victor Jennings. He's 8 laps down. Wow, he's having a horrible race tonight so far.
Well, he was the cause of that first caution bouncing off the wall in turn 2. So yeah, he's probably hurt that car a little bit.
Nathen Rhew there. Sorry, Tony.
No, I was just going to say it. Turcotte right back onto the back bumper of the 25. He's been when he's had clean air, he being the 84, he has been consistently faster than the 25, and so is Todd Thomas behind him. So the frustration is definitely going to start to mount with the 84.
And the thing is, you got to be careful if you do try to, air quote, move some. What the heck just happened?
Thomas just hit the wall there, it looks like.
Yeah.
I was going to say, somebody just ate hot garbage. But if you are going to try to move somebody, this is a difficult track to do that on and not cause one.
True.
Because these cars are so right on the ragged edge. You go to move somebody up the track, especially on a bias ply tire, and either they're going to wreck, you're going to wreck, or you're both going to wreck. Those are the only options.
By the way, there, Schultz last lap 0.6 quicker than Nathen Rhew. That interval has now grown to over 6 seconds.
And I got to think that the leaders got to be coming up on everybody who didn't pit under that first caution. We've got to be coming up on the point where these guys are going to need to take it down pit road.
And it was a lot of people. I mean, it wasn't a lot of people that went into pit road. It was just Johnston, who's now up to P10, by the way. Oh, Schultz almost getting into the back of Eigebrod there. Eigebrod, the other driver that that went into pit road but didn't take tyres or fuel. Schultz struggling to get around the 05, but finally gets him. That was close.
And Turkett on the inside makes the move now on Nathen Rhew. So watch that 84 just run away from the 25 now. He has finally been sprung free.
I want to break free. Anyway.
There goes our monetization.
Yeah, well, you already started it. Anyway, Nathen Rhew is in third place now, and now under pressure from Todd Thomas, who's onto the inside of the 25. Can Thomas pull it off as they come flying through turn 2? And Thomas up to third place. Great move there by the 78.
Great move. Makes the pass cleanly. And you got to really feel for Nathen Rhew right now. From the penthouse to the outhouse, as we say, because he is struggling here at the Rock this week.
And Nathen Rhew just ran a 26.6 last time through. Seth Schultz at 26.0. Kevin Turkett, albeit only a 10th, but quicker than the leader.
Yep, I was just still looking at Todd Thomas here. Just pulling away from Nathen Rhew. Rhew now under pressure from Cody Franklin for that 4th spot, and Rhew starting to go backwards there. He's going to need a caution to at least get some new tyres on that thing.
Yeah, Rhew needs
new tires, and maybe try playing with the weight jackers a little bit to try to fix that problem that he's got.
If I were
is definitely on a backslide.
If I were Rhew right now, I'd be trying to set myself up in a position to where if we do get a late caution, come in, tires, go all out, because a long run, he's not going to have a prayer.
So there goes Franklin.
Pause that late caution.
Yeah, there goes Franklin up to P4. Rhew falling backwards. Thankfully, he's got about a 3-second gap back to Gil Gork, who's there in P6. And Gork in a bit of no man's land right now. He's got about half a second lead over Cody Brown, and Brown still has a 1.5 seconds out in the lead. But Seth Schultz really putting on a clinic so far. And we're only on lap 43. He's 6.5 seconds up the road.
He is, but can we talk about Corey Brown for a second? Didn't have the best qualifying attempt. Started in 20th. Currently running in 7th.
Yeah,
that's a big move.
Yeah, biggest mover of the race so far, up 13 positions. The next closest one would be Chuck Sweeting, who's only up 4.
He's about to pick off Galt.
Oh, contact between the two, and Corey Brown having to take to the apron to get around him, and that was a scary moment for both drivers there.
Yeah, that's definitely, just what you try to do. You try to make a move, you try to be brave, and just Doc had that line covered off the way he should. Brown said, "Nuh-uh, son, I'm still taking it," and he comes out the victor because of it.
And there was a lot of words exchanged in the MSIM chatter because of that one.
Oh, I can imagine.
So now Gil Gork falling backwards about a second to Corey Brown, and Brown Starting to close in on Nathen Rhew now, so Brown is on the move.
And just looking at the lap times right now, Rhew ran a second slower than the leader. He was 4/10 slower than Franklin and a second slower than Corey Brown that last lap. He is hurting.
Marcus Wilkie going very slow on the apron there, just staying out of trouble. Not sure what the issues are with the 23, but I'm guessing he might have hit the wall somewhere because that car's not driving very straight right now.
Oh, yeah. He blasted the wall, and he's taking a pit side right now.
So Marcus Wilkie in a bit of trouble now as we go back to our leader. Seth Schultz goes around Victor Jennings again to put him 9 laps down, and he's coming up on Tim Marlowe now to put a lap on him. He's lapped up to P14 already. I mean, missing last week's race. If he didn't miss last week's race, would we have seen the same performance then as well?
Not necessarily at Daytona, but Marlowe not making it easy on him, as Marlowe is slugging it out with Wayne Grass. So unfortunately for Schultz has nowhere to go because these guys are battling for position.
If this is one of those where the leader is screaming, lap cars, get the hell out of my way, and the lap cars are screaming, well, we have just the right to race as you do. And annoyingly, both are right. It's a 28 with a big slide.
Yeah, and I've noticed Tim Marlowe's been doing that for the last lap and a half now, just unable to keep the back of the car underneath him and almost going around. It's only going to be a matter of time before he loses it altogether, but he needs to kind of watch the way he's driving for the corners. Maybe that's probably why the car is going around. Maybe it's tyre wear, we don't know, but Marlowe really struggling in that 28 now.
It might be tire wear because we're coming now as the 27 crosses the line and the 3 dives for pit lane. We're going to be seeing that a lot more. We're down at 101 laps to go here, 50 laps on these tires.
Oh,
yeah, it's about time. Oh, yep, there they go. Oh, with the 34 in it too.
Oh no, the 34 of Alan Pajari in it.
And the 11 drives into it.
So let's go back and see what happened here, and that caution couldn't come at a better time for
the field.
Well, for Nathen Rhew mostly, and wow, Marlowe did go into the back of the 55 there. Unfortunately, Pajari caught up in that as well. Wayne Grass will not be happy with that one.
Yeah, no, Marlowe just drove it in way too deep. And then the confusing one is the 11 here, who's got time. He sees the 55 in the middle of the track and just runs right into the side of it.
Tony, you can say it.
That's generally referred to as an ARCA brake.
Say it.
ARCA! Hi, Ronnie.
We love you, Ronnie.
For those of you who don't know, one of our very good friends actually drives in the ARCA Remax series. And we bust his stones all the time because it's commonly referred to in short track racing to ARCA brake someone when you use the car in front of you to slow your car down.
You see the massive gap that they had. The 27 and the 84 are pretty much to their pit boxes right now as P3, Todd Thomas, just enters the lane.
Yeah, there goes Seth Schultz into pit road. Kevin Turcott in pit road as well. Todd Thomas in pit road. Everybody coming down. We've got mass pit stops right now. I'm expecting Seth Schultz to win this race out of pit road by a country mile, though. Schultz not taking
Thomas
tires.
just slid through his stall.
Yeah. Oh no, Schultz is only taking 2. Is it?
No, he's taken 4.
Yeah, Schultz is taking 4.
Rhew slid through as well.
Rhew just got to his stall.
Yeah, he slid through. He went out the front of it as well. Had to back up just a hair, but still went through it.
Wow. Now, he didn't seem that confident when we spoke to him pre-race, and I can kind of see how that lack of confidence is justified. Nathen Rhew is not having a good race here tonight, guys.
You know what? No,
not the race he was hoping for. Absolutely not the race he was hoping for.
Yeah, no, and Tony, thinking back to it, why was he so late into the box? I mean, that's
how far back he was.
Yeah, he fell back.
Wow.
He had just caught pace truck when Schultz was in his box by the time Rhew entered pit road.
Keep talking amongst yourself, boys. I'll be right back.
It's peculiar. I didn't think much of it. I just said, oh, the 25 slid the box. And then you said, yeah, he just got to the lane. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, all the cars that were back were so far back, considering that Schultz lapped up to 10th place before this caution came out, that
yes, what are you going
it
to
took
do?
cars forever to catch the pace car or pace truck.
All right, so everybody came in under this caution. Brian Bennett was in pit road. That's the 3 car up at the front of this queue here. He came in as the caution was coming out. Marcus Wilkie in the 23 and the 11 of Victor Jennings came in on laps 45 and 44. I believe somebody is in pit lane right now that appears to be the 20?
02, Jarrett Brown.
Okay, so Jared Brown in the lane. As we get set to go back to racing here within the next couple of laps.
I'm back.
Working on lap 55 under the safety car here is Seth Schultz in the lead, Kevin Turkett, Todd Thomas, Cody Franklin, Gil Gawk in the top 5, Chuck Sweeting, Nathen Rhew, Paul Zoda, Corey Brown, and Brad Spittle make up the top 10.
Now this restart is going to be very interesting because Turkett has that second place now and he's going to be right behind Schultz at the restart. Is he going to be able to maintain the momentum he had after he passed Nathen Rhew to try and keep up with Seth Schultz, or just Seth Schultz just have that much of a faster race car than the 84?
Well, here we go. They're doubling them up. Let's see what's going on. Because this is going to be the first time Turkett's actually going to have a clean shot at the leader. Not sure what the 05 is doing.
No, it has been that way. There are little tweaks in their quirks, I should say, with this system that has one of the lap cars start up on the outside.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, that's because he's still technically on the lead lap.
Yes.
Okay.
So now that actually helps Turkett in the 84 because they're not going necessarily on the 27, they're going on the 05. So the 27 can't get that massive run that he got last time away from the 25 of Rhew.
This is weird to me because the 05 should have been waved around. But now he has to wait. Well, no, he's going.
Oh, and Turkett was asleep at the wheel that time. He got ran into the back of by Thomas.
And Schultz absolutely gone like a rocket through turn 1. And Turkett asleep and now finds himself, well, not really under pressure from Todd Thomas. Thomas didn't really go either.
Well, he couldn't go. You can only go as fast as the guy in front of you. And when the guy in front of you is not moving, you're not moving either.
There we go. Thomas now on the back of Turkett as they come out of turn 4. And the 23 kind of held up Turkett there. And that was pretty shifty there and gave the momentum too.
Turkett's 3 wide here. 2. That's not a good place to be 3 wide.
But he managed it. What a move
There
there.
is no such thing as a good place to be 3 wide here at the Rock.
Yeah, there goes Todd Thomas as Turkett runs wide. Thomas going to be on the back of the 23 and almost gets to the side of it. Here comes Cody Franklin now to the inside of Turkett. Turkett had a horrible restart there now and is falling backwards with 2 Skoll cars. Just trying to get, well, all over him right now.
This is 3 times now we've seen restart and 3 bad restarts from Turkett. I wouldn't be surprised. The issue we're talking about with Rhew, I wouldn't be surprised if it was flip reversed with the 84.
Turkett is just stuck behind the 23 of Marcus Wilkie, and now that's letting Franklin just take a bit of a bite out the rear end of the 84. Problem is Franklin is now on the bottom line right where Wilkie is, and that's letting Turkett get away slightly now.
And that would be annoying Turkett because right in the middle, right as Turkett's starting to diamond and power off, the 23 is sliding up so he can't go. He finally does clear him, and so does the 33 of Franklin.
And
but still,
don't
that's
look
got to
now,
be
but here
frustrating.
comes Rhew.
Yeah. Rhew's fixed something in that car because he's right behind Franklin now.
One would hope he's fixed something in that car.
And also contact between Wilkie and Gork, who's got Chuck Sweeting right behind. Paul Zota is right there in the top 10. Brad Spittle is right there. And Jeremy Johnston still making his way forward. He has been in for another pit stop, and he took another set of 4 tyres there.
Well, at that point, you would have to take a set of 4 because that was a long run on those tires. But he is a set short on pretty much everyone in the field right now.
Yeah. So
and unless my thing is lying to me here, which I would hate to think my graphics are lying to me, Igabrod did not come in under that last caution, so he is still on the tires he started this race on.
He only took fuel that time around. He was 8.3 seconds in his box.
Oof. Yeah, so he's only come in on lap 12, and he really didn't even come in on lap 12.
No, he just went straight through his pit. He went straight through pit road.
Yeah,
which would explain why
he started up in front of everyone.
Right, because he was trying to get his lap back, but he forgot that you need tires to be able to do that too.
So Iger brought back in P13 there, just ahead of Gwyn. Well, he's about 0.6 of a second ahead of Gwyn Havens, is back in P14. But we're going to go back to the battle for third place here, well, second place here, because Todd Thomas not really getting away from Turkett. Now he's found some speed. Rhew is starting to find his way back up there again, as well as Cody Franklin starting to fall back into the clutches of Gil Gork, who's made his way up to P6 now, and Chuck Sweeting just running by himself right there. That's the 3 of Brian Bennett right behind him right now.
Yeah, you see, give Turkett about 4 or 5 laps for his car to wind up as he goes to make a move here on second place. They touch. Save Thomas, no.
Thomas did hit the wall. Yeah. Lost a ton.
Go ahead.
Lost a ton of momentum though, and he's going to fall back into Cody Franklin.
I mean, I'm sure Thomas is less than entertained by that move, but that's one where, I'm sorry, you have to give it up. He had the line well before the braking zone. You got to give that one up.
Well, that was what I was trying to say earlier when you said that Turkett was going to move Rhew. You know, he just moved Thomas, and Thomas is lucky that he's not having to piece that car back on the trailer right now.
I mean, he didn't even really move Thomas, though. He was under him going into the braking zone. It's not like he made a late lunge. He was already there.
No, they just banged fenders, and it's still a similar idea, because as soon as you start to turn that wheel, these cars, on these bias ply tires, these cars unsettle so quickly that just you could reach out, if there was a passenger, they could reach out and push on your fender and you'd go around. That's how on the ragged edge these cars are.
Go ahead.
We've seen some side-by-side action there between Paul Zota and Chuck Sweeting, and Zota taking that spot away. Sweeting starting to fall backwards. Brad Spittle has already dispatched him, and he's on his way to try and get to the back of Gil Gork, but is 1.5 seconds back. Going back to the leader, 2.8 seconds to the good over Kevin Turkett, and I don't think that incident between himself and Thomas helped, but Seth Schultz still showing the way.
Almost 0.3 quicker was Turkett on that lap, so he's got clean air. He is rolling, but he is also killing those tires at this stage.
And he's coming up on Wayne Grass to put a lap on him again, as gets around him pretty easily. All 22 cars are still running in this one, despite the cautions we've seen so far tonight. That was the 55 of Wayne Grass that just went around. As there goes Nathen Rhew going around him as well now. Rhew up to third place after that incident between the 84 and the 78. So running pretty strong, and that car doesn't look like it's bouncing around as much as it did before. So I'm wondering if he's changed something in that car to kind of even it out a bit. I'm wondering if he's taking a look at the weight jacket, like you mentioned, Tony.
He almost had to. You know, there's once you grid up for the race, you really can't change anything as far as your shock package, your spring package, or anything like that. The only thing, unfortunately, the only thing iRacing lets you do is play with the weight jackers. You can't put in Like in the real world, you can put in a spring rubber, which is a giant piece of hard foam, into one of the coils to try to change the way the spring reacts. But unfortunately, iRacing doesn't let us do that. So what you start the race with is what you have. And, I'm thinking Rhew had to have played with the weight jackers because he is definitely running smoother. The car is looking way more stable than it was, prior to that caution coming out.
As it comes out of turn 2 there, looks like Cody Franklin starting to reel him in though. He's got the gap under a second to the 25. Franklin still has Todd Thomas right behind him, and Thomas probably driving with a big chip on his shoulder right now. Gil Gork starting to reel them in as well, even though he is 2 seconds back. As Brad Spittle almost on his rear bumper though. Spittle has gained a lot of time on that 85. So the 90, the Red Baron, is on the move now.
He is certainly moving up the field, up 10 spots from his start. Corey Brown up 11 spots, sitting in 9th. So we've seen some big movers, and especially those numbers helped by the cautions, but it's certainly it has certainly changed.
Made that 8th now because he's just past Paul Zota for that 8th spot. So Corey Brown still moving forward. Chuck Sweet.
You gotta say that's an impressive drive.
Yeah.
For both Brown and Spittle.
Yeah. And they're sitting comfortably in the top 10 now. Paul Zota's just fallen back about almost a second to Corey Brown now. Jeremy Johnston, the man who's changed 2 sets of tyres already here tonight, he's fallen out of the top 10. He's in P11. Looks like he might be struggling on that 3rd set of tyres already here, Frank.
Yeah, he might also try to be saving it, realizing he's only got one more set for right around, 70 laps. And we just had a pretty decently long run. So, I mean, if that would run his tires out, if we did get a nice long run here, and he wouldn't have one just in case there were a late caution. So you've got to play a little bit of conservation at this point.
It does have a full lap on Bruce Pearson, so that kind of works in his favour. Seth Schultz has lapped up to P11, which is Jeremy Johnston, and Seth Schultz still quite a ways behind the 75 as well. So Johnston in a bit of no man's land right now, can't really move forward. He's about 1.7 seconds back from Chuck Sweeting, and like I said, he's a full lap ahead of Bruce Pearson. So stuck between a rock and a hard place. One person that would wish they were stuck between a rock and a hard place and somewhere out near the front would be Cody Franklin and Todd Thomas, because they are just mired in traffic, and they're just coming around Nathen Rhew right now. Rhew struggling again, and there goes Cody Franklin to the inside. Thomas almost losing the back end again. Knight on the back of the 25 Folgers machine, and whatever changes he made to the car, Nathen Rhew is struggling again here, Tony.
Well, it's to that point where he's either burned I would dare say he's already burned the right front off the car, because if you look at how he's going through the corners, as soon as he turns in, he's sliding up on corner entry. So he's unfortunately having to diamond the corner, because you'll see it right there. He slid up a little bit on corner entry, and then he's able to bring it back down once the car pushes to the point where that tire just does what it can. So definitely did not have the right shock package on the car tonight. Probably going to fire his crew chief before the night's over. And no, I did not set that car up.
I was going to say, just a couple of laps ago, the 33 of Franklin was about 4/10 quicker than Rhew, as we see Thomas go under Rhew, and he'll complete the pass coming out of 2. But Thomas was even 0.2 quicker than Franklin was on that lap. So they have been quicker than that 25, as he once again is starting to fall off.
Yeah, it wasn't really much of a competition as they fired down the Thunder Valley backstretch right there. as Todd Thomas does have the clear. An update on Corey Brown now up to P6 now, and is starting to close the gap on Nathen Rhew. Brown is looking like a contender for ESPN Driver of the Night so far here, Tony.
Oh, absolutely. With his strong, he didn't have the qualifying run he was hoping for, because I think he set the car up just a tick too loose. Loose is fast and on the edge, out of control, and unfortunately, I think he stepped over that razor's edge in qualifying, so we didn't really get to see what Corey Brown was made of tonight.
Corey Brown, once again, that lap and the last one prior, a half a second quicker than the 25 and the 85 for that matter, so he is flying.
He's actually faster than the leader as well, which is interesting as well. So Corey Brown, actually the fastest driver out on track right now. 26.298 to Seth Schultz, 26.304.
Todd Thomas, that lap actually was the fastest at a 26.15. So the dark top 33 is he's on the move as well. Wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be harassing the light top 33 within the next couple of laps.
Well, the thing is, don't bother paying any attention to Kevin Turkett with a 26.13 on that last lap. Turkett's set on kill right now as well. He definitely has the long run set in that car.
That Schultz has picked up the speed now with a 26.039. Turkett with a 26.6062. Take a look at what Corey Brown can do here across the line. That's a 26.052. Oh, 069, I apologize. So he's still got the speed there, and he's got the gap down to Nathen Rhew down to 1.2 seconds now.
My goodness, he was 7/10 quicker that last lap. My goodness.
That Nathen Rhew. Yeah.
He can just get past Wayne Grasser here pretty easily, and Grasser's going to make it as easy as he possibly can. But that 25, he, again, like I said earlier in the race, he's got to try to set himself up right now for a pit stop, and he'd be good to go if this race ends up at about a 10-lap shootout.
Don't look now, but Corey Brown is only got a lap car in between him and Nathen Rhew.
Not even.
There we go. He just dispatched the 34 real quick.
And that was Alan Pajari. He just got around Pajari running with the damage that he sustained during the last caution. Well, in the incident that brought out the last caution. But look at Corey Brown now, right on the tail of Nathen Rhew. And Nathen Rhew is coming pit side here, Tony.
No mas for the driver of the 25. Don't be surprised if he takes 4 tires.
And don't be surprised if this starts a chain reaction of, well, the 25, we know he's quick. We know he's a front runner. Don't want to lose too much ground. Maybe we should come in as well.
Only time will tell as Rhew hits his box, hits his marks this time. And he is definitely taking at least rights. I think Paul Zoda just called that he's going pit. As Rhew goes a lap down.
So it goes 2 laps down now.
And Rhew is taking 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and with the longer pit stops with these cars in this era, going a lap down or maybe 2, depending upon how far away Seth Schultz has said bye-bye to you, is almost a guarantee.
Someone just blew up there.
With 55.
Oh, the 55 of Wayne Grass has just blown up there. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Going through the tri-oval. And they just let go on him.
Yeah.
And boom goes the dynamite, as they say.
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh, and almost slid back into the 71 and 75.
Well, I'm thinking it was because of the damage that he had earlier.
Yeah.
He may have gotten into the radiator.
Yeah.
That would be the likely culprit there.
And Brad Spittle taking it pit side.
Yeah, and Paul Zota. He called out his pit a while back, but opted against going into pit road. Probably going to try and get some track position here as Brad Spittle. I'm not sure if I'm live. I am live. That's good.
23 is in the lane right now.
Yeah, that is Marcus Wilkie.
Spittle staying out.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're calling the pits and then maybe they saw the engine blow up on Wayne Grass's car and thought, nah, I'm going to stay out a bit longer just in case there's a caution.
Could be a strategy ploy. Maybe you can fake somebody in front of you into coming in. There's a couple of things you could do by faking it like that.
Corey Brown is not slowing down, and I do not apologize for that rhyming. He is almost, well, he was that last time around, almost half a second faster than than Seth Schultz. Has backed off a little bit now with the tyres wearing off, but he is starting slowly but surely to reel in Cody Franklin now, and as we missed it as Todd Thomas is now back up ahead of the 33.
Yeah, Todd Thomas got around him a couple of laps ago, and I would not be surprised even if a caution were not to come out. That 99 is blazing quick. Even on these old tires, he is flying right now.
Well, he's about to throw his hat into the ring to the Battle of the Bandits as Franklin and Thomas just throwing hand grenades at each other the last like 4 laps.
Yeah. If something tells me it's not going to be too much of a battle, I think he may not dispatch of them immediately, but it might not. I don't think it's going to take him too much effort.
Well, time will tell, as he is reeling them in hand over fist right now, as Turcott's got some clean air in front of him, and he's pretty much holding court at about 6 seconds behind your leader, Seth Schultz.
And by the way, in the 10 laps, as we now hit 50 laps to go, as we hit the century mark, Nathen Rhew has reset fastest lap of the race. He had it at a 24.42. It's now a 24.37 since he's been out on those tires.
So he's looking to get at least one of his laps back from Seth Schultz. Is right on his tail now. But that's a bit typical of Nathen Rhew during this since he's come out of pit road. He's gotten the short run pace there. It's just that long run pace. It just doesn't seem to have it here tonight.
Yeah, his tire fall off is just insane.
And speaking of another insane tire fall off, Schultz is still in the 25s. We're seeing a lot of 26 ones and 4s really fluttering between about 2nd through 6th. Schultz is still consistently in the 25.8s. So he has a setup, and he is saving that car, and his tires, I'm sure, may not be pristine, but they are still pretty doggone close.
As Todd Thomas has fallen behind Cody Franklin again, and now has a different kind of threat, because here comes the 99. Corey Brown has reeled this guy in now.
It's amazing how quickly he's gotten through this gap, and I'm surprised. What happened to Thomas? That not only did he get past, but that he's fallen back so far.
He's only 7/10 back, so he's not that far behind,
but he was ahead of Franklin, 3 or 4 laps ago.
Tony, I noticed that you were playing that in the background. And there goes Corey Brown up to P4 now.
Iger brought in the pits. He might actually take tires now.
Let's take a look.
Brown has gotten past Thomas. He's now got to work around the 0-2 of Jared Brown. Who's in the wall. Kept it. Good job on Brown, though, to keep it in the wall, though.
I think the poo might have come out on that one.
0-2 taking it to the apron almost immediately. As Gil Gork is in pit road as well. Just coming in from the top 10. So Alan Pajari putting it on the hauler. He is done for the night. So he was caught up in that wreck that caused the second caution as Gil Gork leaves pit road right now. And Gork, we've not really spoken much about him. We've seen him out on track, but not really spoken much about him. Running very comfortably in the top 10, but like I said, doesn't seem to have the speed he had back in Daytona.
Absolutely not, but Cody Franklin is under a lot of pressure right now. We saw him just chasing down the hill on the previous lap. He's driving for his life right now as Corey Brown is right on the back bumper of the Bandit.
Yeah, he went way up in the middle of 3 and 4 that last lap. He was able to keep it down this time, but that brought not just Corey Brown, but the 3 of Brian Bennett, who has since let these guys go, right up to the back bumper of that white top 33. And here he goes.
And here we go. Brown to the inside as they haul it off into turn number 3. Gets the clear, makes the move. Brown now sets sail, sets his sights on the 84 of Turcotte, who is 7 seconds up the road.
It's a slim margin.
Just a small bit, you know.
Just a little bit. I'm going to be interested to see if a caution does come out. It's going to be real interesting to see what's going to happen between Brown, Turcotte, and Schultz.
More Brown and Schultz than Turcotte.
I think Brown, if he wants to get up there, I think Brown is going to have to be the first one to flinch, because if he can get that undercut and get a couple of laps out on fresh tires, he can make up a lot of ground really quick on the 2 in front.
Well, we're 40 to go this time across the stripe. 4-year leader, Seth Schultz.
These guys have been out on this set of tires for, God, I think that's almost 60 laps.
58 laps.
Yeah, they've been, granted, about 3 or 4 of them were under caution, but that's it. They've beaten this set of tires to death, and the top 3 have done a great job of maintaining them, because those are the only 3 that are running 25s and running 25s consistently.
Paul Zota finally brought in pit side. He's not been in pit road yet. He's just fallen a lap down to Seth Schultz.
Corey Brown, fastest on track.
I don't know if you guys can hear that on the back of Paul Zota's car. It sounds to me like he's got a flat tire.
Let me go look.
Yeah, he does. He does have a flat tire.
Left rear.
Yeah.
Left rear has no air in it. I'm on the GoPro that we've got mounted on the driver's side door, and you can really see it. That left rear tire has no air.
Yeah, no, he's got to bring that in and bring it in now. And the thing about this is, these cars are just so naturally tight. He just probably thinks it's tight.
Yeah, we can hear that it's flat, though, by the way it's sounding. It's here comes Franklin almost into the back of Zota. And Zota needs to bring that in and get that flat tire off the car, as here comes Thomas now around him. As now Zota realizes he is in big... Wow. That could have ended in a big disaster for both Thomas and Franklin.
Yeah, that could have been very bad. And now like I said, we're getting late into this run. We've got 63 laps on these sets of tires. How much more can some of these tires withstand?
Well,
my guess would be not much.
Zota lasted 58 laps before his tire went flat, so we don't know.
Obviously, with the different setups, and these guys have been driving these cars differently, going around with a 25.8 again. It's the tire life will vary a little bit, but we're getting close to pit stops are going to be starting to come. And unfortunately for Nathen Rhew, him peeling off early to get a fresh set after about 40 or so laps has not paid off.
Paul Zota finally makes his way back out of pit road, but in the 6 laps since Corey Brown took 3rd place away from Cody Franklin, Corey Brown has taken 3 seconds out of Kevin Turcotte. 3 whole seconds.
Scary quick.
He was 7.9 behind when he took third place, is now 4.7 back.
Just ran another 25.924. He is the undisputed fastest car on track right now.
Gil Gork is faster, 906.
Well, Gil Gork just also came in and took tires
That's true.
a couple of laps ago.
Of the guys that are on the lead lap,
Yeah.
Corey Brown is by far the fastest.
And Schultz sets a
And when did Nathen
25.9.
Rhew go a second lap down?
Corey Brown responded with a 25.8.
Exactly. Schultz says, "You know what? All right, let me start actually paying attention and trying." Brown says, "Nope."
Well, Turkett just ran a 26 flat.
And Brown was not the quickest of the three that lap. Turkett was the quickest.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be interesting as Gwyn Havens is in pit road. No, he's not in pit road. He was blinking out a few connection problems there for the 22. But Gwyn Havens, a driver we've not really spoken about tonight, running the Miller High Life machine, I believe.
Yeah, that old Allison scheme.
Yep, that was before they went to that was just before they went to the Buick.
Speaking of which, iRacing, get on that, will you?
I want the Buick. I want the Oldsmobile. I want the Pontiac.
I want the big lollipop from the top shelf. I want the Hershey bar. No, not that one. I want the big one.
And I want that bottle of Coca-Cola.
Not that one, that specific one.
No, the one with the more drops on it.
That one.
Yeah,
We've got Brad Spittle in pit road, boys. And we've got Todd Thomas.
Yeah, Todd Thomas. That could be a nice little strategy play from him right here. He obviously not going to gain all the way up to the lead, but he should gain a nice little chunk on this group here. And again, I still maintain Corey Brown has to be the first one to peel off out of this group.
He's taken another 3 seconds out of Kevin Turkett.
Yeah, he's at 1.8 seconds now. Remember when he got around Franklin and Thomas, he was 7.5 seconds back, and now he's a second and a half.
Corey Brown, if this race stays green as
22 in the wall.
Havens in the wall.
He's coming in.
After the way he hit the wall there, I don't blame him. So Todd Thomas is back out on track and he rejoins in P7. So not too much of a loss there, but he does come out be a long way behind Nathen Rhew, about 9 seconds back from the 25 of Rhew. 32 laps on his tyres, he'd be caught easily, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I think Turkett may have had an issue because Turkett was about 7 seconds off of Schultz, and they've been running nearly identical lap times, and all of a sudden now he's 9 seconds out. But I wouldn't be surprised if Turkett's had a bit of an issue. And this big gap that Turkett has found himself in to Schultz, he could attribute back to that god-awful restart right at the beginning of this run.
Yeah.
That set him way back.
As Corey Brown takes another 7/10 out of Turkett now, and as you can see, there is Corey Brown, and he's got him right in his crosshairs as there goes Havens as well. Again, just come out of pit road and Corey Brown. Wow.
If I were Brown, I would be fuming. The one thing you want as a lead lap car is for lap cars to be predictable. If you're in a line, stay in it. Don't try to get out of my way. Let me go around you. Be predictable. Don't just... I know the 22 was thinking he was doing the right thing, but really it's not.
As here comes Corey Brown. Yeah, here comes Corey Brown to the inside of Turkett now. And I will admit, compared to Turkett, that 99 is on absolute rails right now.
It's stunning to see. We're on, 70, almost 80 laps into this run, and he is still flying at qualifying speeds.
Yeah, as he dispatches the 84 now, goes and puts a lap on Nathen Rhew, who's struggling with those older tyres. And who'd have thought this at the start of the race? Kevin Turcotte, the man he was battling with for second place at the start of this thing, has run into the wall.
Yep, and that's going to cause a caution.
Oh no!
Or is it going to cause? Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
caution is out. And game on, ladies and gentlemen. Seth Schultz versus Corey Brown. This is what we've been waiting for, fellas.
This is going to be insane. And as Tony was mentioning before, I was saying, set yourself up to get a caution, fresh tires for a very short run. And Tony mentioned it. You don't want to be the caution. And unfortunately, in this scenario, Rhew is the caution.
Let's go back and take a look at what happened to the 25 there. It looks like Rhew and Turcotte did exactly the same thing going into turn one. Brown got around Rhew, and then Rhew just drifted up to the wall, as did Turcotte. Turcotte just followed him, and I don't think that was a malicious intent there by the 84. I think he just followed him up there in his wake and just had nowhere to go.
You know that happens in road racing. You're more specifically a road racer, as all the lead lap cars are in, as you would expect. Sometimes when the guy in front of you drives in deep and you're kind of relying on him as a braking zone, and he drives in too deep, guess what? You're following him right on with you. So I think that was kind of what happened there. I think Turcotte was kind of looking at Rhew to be a braking marker and kind of just followed him right through.
Yeah. As Corey Brown, actually, everybody's in pit road. Brown has already made his pit stop, so he's on his way out. Seth Schultz has just made his pit stop and won the race off pit road, but it's going to be the restart where we're going to see things happen here, Frank. It's going to be a barn burner for these last few laps now.
The issue with Brown is he going to have that short run car that Turcotte has? Because if he does, Schultz is going to win this thing. But if he has a decent short run car, don't have to worry about saving the tires right now. We're going to have, I would assume 13, 14 laps to go and this thing goes green.
Turcotte's coming in.
Yes, so it's going to be down to the start of Brown as to whether or not we're going to have a race here.
Yeah, with Turcotte coming in, that's going to promote Cody Franklin up to third place. We've got a whole bunch of cars in pit road right now. Brad Spittle back in, Gil Gork is in, Chuck Sweeting is in. And these guys, all of them are 2 laps down, so it's only a 4-car race right now.
Yeah.
It's a 4-horse race, and with no wave rounds, this is how it's looking right now. Everybody from 5th place back are laps down, and they're going to stay that way.
And unfortunately for Thomas, he had come in, what, about a lap or two before what happened with Rhew and Turcotte. Now, obviously, you can't predict something like that happening, but still, just bad luck for a guy who does have a car that could fight for a top 3 position. Just unfortunately, he's caught a lap down thanks to the pit cycle.
Did get a lot of rear end damage from that incident he had with also with Rhew. Turcotte, yeah,
it
Turcotte.
was, yeah, Turcotte.
I apologise, Nathan. Anyway, relating to this race, we are 17 laps to go. We're going to give a quick shout out to the league sponsor once again. That is Summit Sim Racing. Make sure you check those guys out as we are getting close to the end of this one. So Summit Sim Racing, make sure you check them out. Those are the league sponsors. They'll be with us all season, so we'll be giving them plenty of love as the season progresses. But lights are still on the pace truck. I think we might be able to get a quick interview in here. What do you reckon, Frank?
I think we could do it.
Seth Schultz, what do you reckon?
You know what? Yes, I want to hear from Brown, but I want to save it for the end of the race. So yeah, bring Schultz in.
I'll let you interview him. As we bring down Seth Schultz as he's with Frank right now.
Seth Schultz, Frank Marchese in the booth. You hear me?
Oh yeah, I got you. Sorry, the guys were talking in my ear.
Oh, you're fine. Your car is absolutely flying here tonight. Your tire wear, has that really been a factor for you?
I had to pit the next 2 laps or it was going to blow the right front and right rear.
I
So the
was
cluster couldn't have given me a better time. I had enough fuel by like 4 laps, but yeah, I was going to blow one of the right sides was going to go.
like,
I had like 4%.
wow, that's pushing it to the limit.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question. If this thing were to go green, you were going to have to come in again at some point. I was going to ask you when, but it was going to have to be at that point. Now that you've got all these cars on your inside line as we get set to go green, what's your mentality for this restart here?
Go like hell. Corey's fast. It's just hopefully my tires are a little bit quicker on the beginning.
All right, Seth, good luck.
Yep, thanks.
So, yeah, Seth Schultz.
A lot of cars on the inside lane. It looks like the field's been flip reversed, and there's a big restart. And the 75 didn't get going on the inside.
Now I'm trying to get back to it.
Bad news for them. And Turkett got caught up next to the 75 going into one. But again, it's the ability to control the restart that got Schultz this 1 second lead, and I doubt he's going to relinquish it.
Yeah, as we're back on the green once again, just gone the first lap since going back to the green here. Tony, Corey Brown versus Seth Schultz. Who's your money on?
It's going to be hard to bet against Seth Schultz with the dominance that he's shown all night. But, Corey Brown is no slouch, so flip a coin at this point.
And this is the first time Brown has really been unleashed on fresh tires as he sets a 24.989 there. That's a personal best. They actually ran identical times right there, did Schultz and Brown. So this is the first time on fresh tires we've really seen Corey Brown able to do what he can do.
As we're looking at the battle here between Franklin, Turkett and Thomas. Thomas obviously 2 laps down. It's a 4-horse race right now as Turkett trying desperately to get away from Thomas and get into the back of Cody Franklin. Franklin seems to have the faster car here, but remember guys, Turkett has that front end damage from the collision with Nathen Rhew right there, so that might be working against him right now.
Yeah, that it's also showing he came in 2 laps after Schultz and Brown and Franklin ahead of him. May have just topped off the fuel, got to the back of that line. May as well come in again. You're under caution. The last car on the lead lap. There's really no penalty in it.
Yeah, and that's probably why he went back into pit road again. He was probably pit farming the thing. So, and he had 2 laps to make. Yeah, he's got a 2-lap gap over Tom Thomas. So why not come in and get the rest of that damage fixed? I mean, you're not going to lose much out of it, especially with no waiver rounds. As there is Turkett right on the back of Franklin now, and Franklin getting all out of shape there into turn 1. And here comes Turkett now to the inside of the 33, going to try and take it away. Franklin might have the momentum on the high side there as they come through turns 3 and 4, side by side, and it's going to be Turkett with the nose out in front of it to come down towards the line. But here comes Franklin again. No, Turkett's going to get it into turn 1.
Yeah, no, that's what we saw earlier. Give Turkett a couple of laps to get the heat in the tires. And I think his car is actually coming in a little bit quicker than Brown's, as Brown now starting to fall into the clutches of Turkett. So this is going to be a proper good battle here for second at least with the 3 cars in your picture.
Yeah, and you were mentioning during the caution there, Frank, that you were wondering if Corey Brown might have that short run pace. Well, it's clear to see right now he does not have it. It's the long run pace he needs, but with only 8 laps to go, it's not looking in his favour.
Yeah, no, and Turkett goes right under him here. Going to take that second spot away, and he's going to leave the door open for Franklin, who's going to follow right through in the white top 33.
Yeah.
Well, watch for Brown to try to do the undercut coming off of 2, but the only thing is he's got Thomas right there. He's going to have to throw the block, and he does coming off of 2. Kills all of Thomas's momentum. Now tries to get his groove back as he tries to reel Franklin back in.
Something tells me with the way those cars went through 3 and 4 and the way Thomas went through 1 and 2, I think he might have let the 99 come back down, saying, I'm a lap down, let me stay out of this fight, which, if that was the case, bravo from Thomas.
Yeah, so Brown not showing that short run pace, and there goes Turcotte round. I will get it in a minute. Tim Marlowe. So Franklin just falling back from Turcotte, and Brown not really going with him, as Brown now has Todd Thomas right behind him to try and take a lap away, back off him. What I'm going to mention to Nathen Rhew, lost 2 laps after that wreck, and is now down in P15. An absolutely terrible night there.
48's in the wall. He's spinning. He's spinning down the front.
Trying to find it.
He hit the wall down the front straightaway, and it bounced off and threw him to the inside. Caution has not come out.
Oh, that is, you mean the 84, not the 48.
Yeah, 84. Sorry about that.
And there you see it
I was
right
gonna say,
there.
I can't find a 48.
Dyslexia is fun, isn't it?
Turcotte hitting the outside wall, spinning in, and that has pretty much thrown his race away here. As now Cody Franklin.
Such an awkward wreck to have.
Yeah, it is, and that's going to put him way off the pace now. And there goes Cody Franklin in second place in the white top number 33 Skull Machine, and Corey Brown. And I think I speak for the rest of my broadcast team here when I say it's pretty obvious Corey Brown's going to get the ESPN Driver of the Night award tonight.
True story. And
up
just
17 positions.
real quick on the 84, the front end damage cut that right front tire down on his car.
Oh no!
Oh, so
I
he had
just
a
went
blowout.
back and looked. The damage that he got from tagging Rhew in that last accident, that cut that right front tire down, and that's why he hit that outside wall. And I don't think he realizes it.
White flag in the air here at Rockingham. And it's all been about one man here tonight. The number 27 Kodiak Machine, driven by Seth Schultz, making his way through turns 3 and 4 for the final time here tonight. Seth Schultz has dominated this race from the get-go and crosses the line, wins here at the Rock. And what a way to make your start to the season. He missed last week at Daytona, but his first race back, he absolutely stomps the field.
I think he led all but the first 4 or 5 laps. He was just on a rail tonight.
Yeah.
Cody Franklin and the School Bandit number 33 able to hang on for a second, and Corey Brown in the Coca-Cola number 99 coming home in third. Strong podium all the way around.
Yeah, it could have been a lot better though for some drivers. I mean, Nathen Rhew, what could have been for him? Todd Thomas falling foul of the caution that came out, and it's a lot of people are going to be thinking that this was a missed opportunity for them.
Absolutely, and Rockingham is really a litmus test of how you can overcome adversity. It is not an easy track to get around for starters, even in the best of circumstances. And if your team misses on the setup, you're on the back foot all night long. But hats off to the guys that really did struggle through and make it to the finish. Yes, the only guys that finished on the lead lap were the top 4. Everybody else was 2 or more laps down. But that really says something about some of the drivers here in this league. The fact that you had close battles all night long, between Spittle and Gawk and Sweeting and Zoda. Those guys were battling just tooth and nail all night long. Marlowe, Johnson, Bennett, those guys were battling all night long. Eigenbrog, Pearson, and Havens, those guys were just slugging it out all night long. Back in the back part of the field. But everybody still persevered and made it to the finish, and that really speaks volumes for the level of competition that you have here in the league.
Absolutely. As we're going to go straight to the interviews right now, and we're going to start. Let's go the other way than we did last week. Let's go straight to our race winner, Mr. Seth Schultz. And Frank, I believe you have him again.
Hey, Seth, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
What a great restart you had. How big of an advantage is it to be that control car in a situation like this with how difficult these cars are to restart?
Well, it's huge, but the other side was, I think I started in first and they started in second. Shouldn't say that, but that's what I think happened.
Again, as I mentioned on the broadcast, you probably led every lap except like the first 4 or 5 laps. How good was that car tonight?
It was a rocket. I mean, it just did what I wanted it to do. It got a little tight. We put it the first time. It went up on the right rear tire pressure to get it a little freer off, and then made that same adjustment there. The last stop, it should have went a couple more pounds. It was starting to get a little tight there towards the end.
Anyone you wanted to say thanks to before we let you go?
First, I got to thank all the league guys that show up and race with us, and we try to get them a decent set. And I didn't think that I'd never ran 100 laps on my tires before, so I didn't know it was going to be like that. I ran 50, but I also got to thank Corey Brown and Cody Franklin. We're Team BS, which is Brown Schultz Racing. So I got to thank those guys for coming in and practicing. Corey's good with setups, so we worked together a couple nights this week. And thank Rhew for what he does for helping out guys with setups too. And he loaded the wrong set, so I feel bad for him.
Oh, that's what happened.
He got going, and when we pitted, he looked and he said he loaded the wrong set. And I'm like, that makes sense. But overall, I mean, it was a good race, I thought. I mean, not even just because I won, just because we weren't plagued with cautions. So that's always a plus.
All right, well, congratulations. Enjoy this win, Seth Schultz.
Yeah, I got to thank you guys too for broadcasting and Summit Racing for sponsoring the series.
Also, before I let you go, Seth, what are your thoughts on Richmond next week?
I love Richmond. Now, whether I can get this car to go around Richmond the way I want, we'll see. But I think our team might do good. So I mean, we finished 1, 2, 3 here at Rockingham. But I see Kevin's got something for us, and so doesn't Rhew. So we'll be probably racing them, but we got to make up a bunch of points for missing Daytona.
All right. Well, congratulations one more time. We'll speak to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So that was our race winner, Mr. Seth Schultz, joining me in the booth there. What a result for him. Joining us in the booth now will be our second place finisher. That will be Cody Franklin.
You're not in the booth.
Oh, it's great. Lovely.
What's that?
Oh, sorry, I moved the wrong person. I moved myself. I don't know why I did that.
I was going to say, I'm like, everything's quiet. I'm like, did he move me? Wait a minute.
I moved Seth now. Finally, I've moved him, right? So to everybody up in the Grand National Series main room, fantastic for you all getting on the broadcast. But I don't want to interview you guys at the moment. Let's speak to the man that finished in second. That's Cody Franklin. Cody, you put on a great show here tonight. Just sat back for the most part, but really brought it home and finished on the podium there, capitalising on Kevin Turcotte's spin at the end.
Yeah, I'm sitting in a pool of sweat and still shaking a little bit. Didn't expect anything. I was thinking top 5, and we put in a lot of practice this week, probably about 10, 12 hours, and it paid off.
That it did, as you was pretty much on the tail of Todd Thomas for the entirety of the race until that last caution really split you guys up. But once you got up to that top 3, you're pretty much on your own. You brought it, made it your own there. And were you expecting Kevin to lose it like he did with those couple of laps to go?
Yeah, I was actually expecting him and Seth both to lose it before the caution. I was saving, and I'd only planned on the one stop, and I was going to go the distance, and it just didn't plan out that way. And luckily for me, the caution came out, and I was able to hold it off. I don't know how I did, and I'm still trying to figure that out, but it was a good race for sure.
Well, congratulations for yourself bringing the 33 Skull Bandit to second place here. Looking ahead to next week's event, we are off to Richmond Raceway. What are your thoughts as we go short track racing?
a lot of tempers to be tamed, and I'm sure I'll probably be even more of a nervous wreck no matter where I finish at Richmond. I'm hoping for at least a top 10.
All right, Cody. Well, before I let you go and celebrate, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. You guys for broadcasting, y'all do a phenomenal job. I like watching the broadcast after the race, and Corey and Seth, we did a lot of practice, and we was practicing around the same times, and I'm new to setups and was trying to learn, and they were giving me inputs and things like that, and helped me build the car with their knowledge. And then there's another group with Autobahn. They've helped me with my consistency. Great group of guys there with Mike and Jason helping me out with consistency, and of course Summit Sim Racing.
All right, Cody. Well, congratulations one more time, and we'll speak to you next week from Richmond.
Yeah, guys. Thanks.
So that was Cody Franklin joining me in the booth. I'm not going to make the same mistake again and put myself in the main room, so I've moved him down to the interview room. But joining Tony right now is the man that finished in third place, ESPN Driver of the Night, Mr. Corey Brown.
Corey Brown driving the Donnie Allison tribute car, kind of fitting considering that Donnie got his first podium here at Rockingham back in 1968. Talk us through your night. You didn't have the qualifying run you were hoping for, but able to climb your way through the field, sir.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get home in time to work on a Q set, and so I was like, well, I'll just ride around for a Q lap and start in the rear. And I knew my setup takes 10 to 15 laps for it to come in. It's really tight, really slow. But then after that, I can start matching the leaders on lap times. And, I was running pretty good. We had that last caution there. My right sides were 33-43 with 20 laps to go. And I was talking to Seth. I asked him what his right sides were, and his right front wasn't going to make it. So if we would have stayed green, I think I would have ended up P1. But I'll take it. These cars are a blast to drive. I missed last week's race because I had to work late. So it was just fun to get in here and race with these guys. Had a little incident on lap 47, I believe, with Gil. Me and him kind of touched. So I got 8.5 seconds of damage there. But we got that fixed up on that next caution. And, man, it was just a fun race.
Tony?
Absolutely. The series moves to Rockingham next week. Your thoughts about going to
Richmond?
One of the fun tracks to drive in Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond. I like Richmond. I love the Rock, and I really like Richmond. So, I'm gonna take this set right here and tweak on it. Gotta find some short run speed. I can't let them get 5-10 seconds out in front of me and then start matching their pace or be a tenth or two faster each lap because I'll never catch them. So, really looking forward to next week. Hopefully, we get another top 5 or another podium. Possibly pick up a W. That'd be great. But yeah, next week's gonna be fun. These cars are awesome.
Well, Corey, congratulations on being named ESPN Driver of the Night, biggest mover, and congratulations on the podium, sir. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Richmond.
Thank you.
So that was Corey Brown. I don't know about you guys, but did he sound a bit distinctively like Rusty Wallace?
I was kind of thinking that too. I was kind of thinking more towards. He sounds like Rusty, but he does have a little bit of Kenny in his voice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking there may possibly be.
It's one of the Wallaces.
Is there some subterfuge going on there?
Probably.
Especially considering Seth Schultz was driving a tribute paint scheme to Rusty Wallace.
Bit of subterfuge there, but anyway, that is the interviews out of the way. So let's go straight to the end portion of this race, as we are going to bring you the results of this race. As coming home with the victory was Mr. Seth Schultz. Absolute dominant performance there, finishing 5 seconds to the good over the man that finished in second. That would be Cody Franklin, and Corey Brown finishing third. Kevin Turcotte rounds out the drivers that finished on the lead lap in P4. Todd Thomas in P5 was 2 laps down. Brad Spittle coming on in P6. Gil Gork in P7. Chuck Sweeting in P8. P9 going to Paul Zota, and P10 going to Tim Marlowe, Frank.
I actually don't have it up. I do apologize.
Jeremy Johnson in 11th. Brian Bennett coming home in P12. 13th going to Mark Eigebrod. Bruce Pearson in 14th. Nathen Rhew, not the night he was hoping for, coming home in 15th. Glenn Havens in 16th. 17th going to Bobby Everhart. Marcus Wilkie in 18th. 19th going to Derek Brown. Victor Jennings in 20th. Parjari in 21st. And Alan, I am sorry if I mispronounced that. And Wayne Grass, the first one to call no mas in 22nd.
Absolutely. That is your results here for the second round of the Die Hard Racing League Grand National Series, as that is going to do it for us here tonight. Great racing here for these guys. Don't forget the league sponsors of these guys. That is Summit Sim Racing. Make sure you check them out, as they are great supporters of the league, and definitely worth checking out what they have on offer. But for now, that is going to do it for us here at The Rock, and a fantastic result here for Seth Schultz as he dominated his way to victory lane. But for now, all that's left for me to say is keep it clean, and we will see you tomorrow night live with the iRacing E Series from Talladega. Have a good night.